Today I want to tell you about one of the very few in American history that was able to lead a nonviolent protest and get the results that they set out for it. This man was able to do it because he had passion, motivation, and inspiration to complete this. Many of you have heard of his name, CChavez. Most of you don't know what he did for the migrant workers and the environment that they were working in. I want to tell you what led up to the protest and how he was able to get not hundreds but thousands to join forces with him and make this protest all throughout the United States for almost 5 years. This man I admire, and I'm sure many of you will once you hear his story. The strike that originally started with 3 Filipino men. A week later, CChavez heard of it, and he asked his group, which was the Mexican American National Farm Workers, if they wanted to join forces. He felt together they could make a difference. CChavez was a man that earned so much respect that when he spoke, people listened. He didn't need violence to get their attention. This protest was more than just Filipino and Mexican workers. It was all races coming together to demand equality for these migrant workers. At one point, when there was talk of violence, CChavez even took an oath to fast. He fasted for 25 days with water only. He knew and he believed in his heart that if there was going to be a change, the violence going to happen because people weren't going to listen. This got so big once Americans started seeing what was going on, and the violence would have taken away from what their cause was. So many people wonder what made workers want to follow Chavez during that 5 years. It wasn't just the fact that they were being underpaid. It was the fact that Americans were actually able to see what migrant workers did not have. Migrant workers were making 80 cents an hour. They were sitting out in temperatures over 100 degrees and working in unhuman-like environments. There were 0 bathrooms for the migrant workers to use, nor is there any cold water. According to BakersfieldNow.com, Government Ronald Reagan vetoed the legislation 3 times to give farm workers toilets in the fields after it had already passed the state legislation. What grew national attention for this protest was when Senator Robert Kennedy, aka Bobby Kennedy, went to Delano Farms. When he seen what was going on, he was astonished. He couldn't believe that they were subjected to this. With him and the publicity that he got, they were able to draw more and more Americans' attention. When Bobby was actually getting ready to say that he wanted to run for office, he was shot and killed one night in California. Now, CChavez wanted Americans to see what was going on, so he decided that they were going to walk from Delano, California, all the way to Sacramento, California. The point for this was that if they walked and they kept this protest, there would be cameras recording them. There would be people seeing their passion and motivation behind this. This protest began in 1966. People were everywhere. They would come with their signs supporting them and cheering them on, giving them water, giving them food. Now, when this did not work and they still could not come to an agreement with Delano farm owners and actually other farm owners, they decided that they needed to do something a little bit more extreme. So in 1967, Chavez got volunteers to go to supermarkets to try to stop the buying of these grapes. And if the store owners still proceeded to buy the grapes, people would picket outside and let all the people that were coming in know exactly what was going on. Now, the problem with this was, as they were getting more and more people to join forces with them, it was as easily the farm owners were finding people to come pick anyways. So they would win one and they would lose some. Now, you may not know how passionate CChavez was about this, but he figured that whatever it took, he was going to do. CChavez put so much passion into this. When, in the spring of 1970, the smaller of the grape owners finally decided to sign the contract, it was just like a miracle had happened. 25 more of the owners decided to step up. And join forces with the union and actually do something for these migrant workers. The pay had increased, there were bathroom facilities, and there was water available for the workers. There was so much more that was added on to this that the migration workers did also get. But this was a 5-year passion that CChavez took to. Like I said, workers lost their jobs, they lost their families. Now, CChavez's ultimate goal was to overthrow a foreign labor system in the nation, which treats foreign workers as if they were not important human beings, according to the article titled Fighting for Farm Workers' Rights. I want you guys to walk away knowing that if you believe in something, if you have a cause and you stay dedicated, you can do this. This man, CChavez, did this, and he was able to overcome everything that was put in his way. And he was able to make sure that migrant workers were treated with fairness, were given the opportunity to have everything that other workers had. I hope when you hear this name, now you will be motivated. I hope when you hear this name, you will remember what he has done. I hope that CChavez will ever stay an impression on your hearts today. Thank you.